I'm ready. Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel, who we endure all things for. Shalom to all the Akim, few sisters that believe on Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Until the bitter end, I say once again, Shalom. Like the title states, America is exposed. In 2026, there's too much information online where you can read about how much this country is going down a terrible spiral on every facet. We're talking economically, socially, politically. America as we know it, and really what the scripture says about America, which is Babylon the Great according to the Holy Bible, it's only getting worse from here on out. I started going out to the highways and hedges 3 years ago, around June, and I thought it was already bad at that time. It's already August 11th, 2026, 3 years later, and it's only increasing in how bad it's getting for the average American and those who have power here that think they have some sort of authority, but the authority that they claim to have comes from on high. Everything and every position that people have in this world comes from the Heavenly Father, whose true name is Yahweh. And I'll start out here with this scripture. In Lord's will, I'm able to edify Akim and sisters that are tuning in, whether it's now or later. Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. And Donald Trump is being controlled by the Lord right now. And he's doing a lot of different things, especially things that make him look bad, that make America look bad, that make those in high government positions look bad. Everybody is not looking good in the eyes of the world. America is looking like a very terrible hypocrite. The other nations are already laughing at America because this man, Donald Trump, is a complete psychopath who's willing to say whatever that comes in his mind, whether it's good, bad, whatever. He's just simply a loose cannon who can't control himself and allow himself to think of a smart, critical, understandable critique of what he's doing. The reason why he's saying what he's saying and doing what he's doing is because really the Lord is in control of what he does every single day. And he's the king of America, the United States of America. And the Lord has him in his hand. He's able to guide him wherever he wants, and he's going to make him say whatever he wants according to his will, because the Lord is the one who controls what happens on this earth. It's not really ourselves. It's Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai that controls what goes on in this world. Again, the king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So whatever goes on in this world, bear with me. Turn the AC, it's a little hot here. Whatever craziness that Donald Trump decides to do, whether it's to tweet something out just ridiculous, say something that's outlandish, it's almost like laughable to some degree, it's because the Lord put it in his spirit to bring forth that whatever he said. Very simple to understand, but us within the circumcision have the true understanding on how this world operates, and this whole world is currently operating wickedness, and the Lord is what's determining the course of the different actions that's taking place right here on this earth. Because this is the last world before the nation of Israel is able to actually have complete control of the earth. So I want to go into this article from BBC.com, which I had initially put in the group chat with the Akim. And shout out to Brother Yahawada. He put the same link that I had put in the group chat for BBC.com. And the headline says, Trump hid in catering truck in secret plane swap over Iran threat, report says. So is this the man who has control over America? Is he scared of everything that goes on wherever he goes? It seems like it. Without a shadow of a doubt, it seems like he's just afraid of everything and everybody. And he's completely willing to say whatever his heart desires without any sort of consequences of his actions. It's incredible that this man has the power that he does, and he gets to say whatever he wants to say, and nobody's able to do anything about it. So let me read on with this article. Donald Trump secretly swapped planes as he left a NATO summit in Turkey last month as part of an elaborate ruse in response to a possible Iranian threat, U.S. media report. And this is a very proud devil. He always flaunts on how he's able to overcome and the different false flag events that happened last year or 2 years ago. I forgot. There's just so much happening in this world. It's hard to keep up with certain things. But I do remember when there was a shooting, gotta put quotes around it, where somebody had shot at him and he was giving a speech somewhere. I think it was in Pennsylvania. I could be wrong. And apparently the bullet like hit barely his head. I think it landed in his ear or something. And most people have already said that it was all false. It was not even real. It was all set up. And I wouldn't be surprised, because we're talking about a group of people who have control over this entire world, and they are willing to use illusions, false flag events. They're willing to go above and beyond when it comes to just orchestrating certain events in order to make themselves look good. But let me continue on. Donald Trump secretly swapped planes as he left a NATO summit in Turkey last month. I read that. The U.S. president boarded Air Force One in view of television cameras before being transported to a military aircraft with the help of a catering truck, according to the Washington Post. Journalists and some White House staff on board did not know he had been smuggled out. Incredible. They should know. This is your president. This is a very important person. So why are you making sure that you have your eye out on him? You're just allowing him to do whatever he wants. But that's all good. That's just part of the American society. You know, officials told the BBC's U.S. partner CBS News that the U.S. had detected a credible Iranian threat to fire a missile at the plane. The White House has not confirmed the secret switch. Trump had earlier said he was Iran's #1 target during the summit in Ankara. Let me see where Ankara is real quick. Of course you're Iran's #1 target. Why wouldn't you be? The Iranians did nothing to you. You're simply destroying infrastructure. You murdered tons of students and teachers in that school that did not need it to be blown up, but you decided to do it. Now they're trying to say that Iran orchestrated that destruction upon those students, upon that school. We know that's a lie. That's not true. They didn't do anything. Why would they attack their own people for? Especially knowing that Israel and that America are coming after them. You see, but this devil is willing to go above and beyond to lie about things of this nature. That's how evil they are. So Ankara is the capital city of Turkey. That's exactly where he was. And he had thought that Iran was targeting him right then and there. So he decided to hide himself and switch planes. And good for you. You should be scared. You should be afraid. Because all you've done is terrorize the entire earth and all the different nationalities, and everybody just simply wanting to live in peace. But for some reason, this devil, well, it's not for some reason. We already know why you can't have some peace in your life. Because you're naturally not peaceful. You're not peaceful at all. You have to go into different nations, take their resources, take whatever you feel like you need, which you really don't, because you're insatiable and you just want more than your heart could wish. We're talking about the devil, the serpent in the garden who beguiled Eve. Incredible. We got this. And it's all leading up to the Third World War, because the Third World War is right around the corner. Actually, if you want to be specific, we're actually in World War III right now. And I got a couple of articles to pull up regarding Russia, North Korea, and all these different nations. Shalom to Enos, Yasharala, Yahawah Shemi Al Shai, Barakatah Malak, Shalom. I saw that clip with this guy who happened to be in the truth, wearing the fringes, the border of blue, and he wanted to be a complete snake. I couldn't believe that. And the Lord is gonna get him real bad. Because I don't want to talk too much about it, but the Lord is gonna repay on that guy harshly. Terrible what he did. There was no reason to do all that. Here it is. You're familiar with the truth. You got a brother who's in the truth. He's putting his life on the line. He's putting his job on the line. He's doing a lot of things for the Lord. And here you are trying to call him out on some BS. Wow. I couldn't believe that. Terrible. And he claims to be in the truth as well? Wow. The Lord's going to do something to him. I know that for a fact. And I don't run to Zog. Everything else is to why with you, Brother Enos. Let me get back into this. Yeah, Donald Trump is being controlled. And he's scared. He's afraid. He doesn't know what to do besides hide himself from the people that he feels like he's on top of. The people that he deems as not civilized. Yeah, okay. We'll see if you're not... We'll see if the people that you call uncivilized, they don't have advanced technology, they're going to come right upon you and your heads. Babylon the Great is going through a catastrophic downward spiral. Shalom to Yahawah, Yahawah Shemi Al Shai, Barakatah Akia. And I'm going to bring out the scripture the brother put in the group chat. Yo, that's the spirit. You can't make it up. Let's go. Job 18:11. Terrors shall make him afraid on every side and shall drive him to his feet. And that's exactly what Donald Trump is going through. He's scared. He's afraid. Because he knows he's the #1 target for Iran, Persia. Beautiful, exactly. This devil is really afraid of everything right now. And why wouldn't you be afraid? You simply go into a nation that has not done anything specifically to you, and you say, we're gonna destroy your infrastructure, we're gonna mass murder innocent women and children, we're just gonna do all these terrible things because we can. And first things first, the only reason why America is having a war with Iran to begin with is because their cohorts, their kinsmen, Amalek, which we know today as the Jewish people, the small hands, the 1948ers, they like slowly turned America into being a part of the war that they orchestrated. Bibi, Benjamin Netanyahu, has desired for like 40 plus years to go after Iran because they had weapons of mass destruction. And he's been saying this for a while now. He's been saying this for years upon years. Now he has had the ability to go into Iran and cause some havoc and different destructions to come upon the people. But, you know, because he believes and his people believe that they're the chosen, he had to give America, which is controlled by Donald Trump, to give an excuse to fight against Iran because of the weapons of mass destruction, which is all a lie. The real reason is because they know that Iran is the powerhouse against the resistance. They're against the Israeli state. They're against America. But even within that, they're able to maintain their own hegemony. They have their own thing going on. They don't care about what America is doing. They don't care about what Israel is doing. But again, the wicked don't know peace. Let me get it, actually. They desire to just continuously hurt people that are minding their business. They can't just leave people alone. Isaiah 48 and 22. There is no peace, saith Yahweh, unto the wicked. It's impossible for them to know peace. Their spirit which is in them is not upright. They are defiled. They are simply not able to be righteous. It's not in their spirit to be that way. The Lord created you to be just like that. You quote unquote Caucasians. And you're not even white. Your skin is red. It's pink. So stop calling yourself a color that's not even on your skin to begin with. It makes no sense. And then you want to call yourselves high IQ, or I have 130 IQ, 140 IQ. You have like -1 IQ. You're calling yourself a color that's not even on your skin. Crazy. And even our people calling themselves black. You're not even black. You have brown skin. Those of you who call yourselves African Americans, a black person, you're not even black. What the hell is wrong with you? You're a color that's not even on your skin. And that's how you know this whole world is circling around Jacob and Esau. Because both groups of people are calling themselves a color that's not even on their skin. The only people on this earth that do that, by the way. Jacob and Esau, black and white. It's all just backwards and upside down. But it's all good because the Lord has everything set in a specific way, and everything is going to come to fruition through prophecies, through his servants, the prophets. Everything has its appointed time. And especially right now in 2026, the truth has sprung out way more than ever. And our elders, they've been laboring for decades upon decades. And they've been waiting to see where we are today. We got World War III right around the corner. Race wars are brewing. There's so much happening in this world. And America is being exposed to the whole world. See, this man, Donald Trump, he just simply is taking L after L. L after L. Donald John Trump. A joke. He's being exposed. His people are exposed. And those who have control over him, they're the ones that are really being exposed right now. Because they know that they have a short time. And the vision is not going to tarry. As much as they want to put off prophecy, as much as they want to take down just about everybody who speaks against them, the small hats, Jewish people, Amalek, because you're Amalek. Palestinians are not Amalek. You Jewish people are Amalek. I hope you understand that. Because you're not the people of the book. You're not the holy people. You're not special. You're the residue of the heathen. God hates you. The Lord hates you. The Messiah hates you. You're hated all over the world. Because again, you don't know peace. The spirit within you is not even upright. And everything is coming slowly but surely together. when it comes to the great exposition going on. Habakkuk 2 and 3. Let me start at 1 actually. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. And that vision is becoming more plain every single day. As long as the servants and the prophets of the Lord are out in the highways and hedges, doing their lessons, doing different things to edify the body, and bringing out the truth, because that's what really matters, the truth of everything going on in this world. There's no stopping the Lord at all, because he is with his servants, he is with his prophets. And all the prophets of old, they're out there in the highways and hedges, presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice. And no matter what people will say, no matter what people will do, no matter what people will try and, be a snake in any sort of fashion, it's all going to come to naught completely. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. For the prophecies are speaking way more than ever before. In 2026, so much is going on. Every day we have to look online, see what's going on in the world news, what's going on X, and just Google what's going on in the world. And it's so easy to grasp how close we are to receiving salvation, Israel. Super close. We just have to continue to push on. There's nothing else we really have to do besides follow after our light, the righteousness of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, and let everything else be damned. America's already exposed on a high frequency. It's being exposed for being full of a bunch of pedophiles, child rapists, child molesters, human traffickers. That's who controls America, the Edomites. And we are at their very, very end. They're on life support. The country that they have called today America, it's on life support. It's done. It's finished completely. Now, we just have to see the prophecies fold out more and more. Because regardless of what the people have to say that are trapped in Christianity, they're trapped in Islam, Buddhism, Judaism, all these different factions of denominations. Shalom to Tawa Judah, Yahweh Bashim El Shai, Brakatah Akia. All the different isms that people are so tied to. What's true is that the Lord is real, and the prophecies are getting more and more clear than ever before. And America is being lifted up in its skirts. Let me get it. And I might just end that out here through the Spirit. Isaiah 47:1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Ancient Babylon, the Neo-Babylonian Empire, they don't exist anymore. We're talking about a future Babylon, which is the United States. If you can't see it, that's all right, because some people are meant to get it, some people are not meant to get it. Very simple. The Lord has everything in a specific rhythm. There's people saying that Babylon is the cathedral in Italy or Rome. All types of weird stuff people be saying, but if you can't see, it's not America, which was created via witchcraft, sorcery, evil, deceit, lies, deception, if you can't see that's what America was from its foundation, more than likely you're just meant to get destroyed by missiles. And that's all right. Again, everybody has an appointed lot to fulfill, especially Israel. A huge population of Israelites are going to get destroyed in these last days. And there's a reason why also why it's referred to as old virgin daughter of Babylon, because America's never been invaded. Nobody has actually taken the time, whether it's from North Korea, Iran, etc., they haven't decided to invade America. It's never happened. The only thing closest to an invasion was Pearl Harbor in 1945 by the Japanese. That was nothing. That was a false flag, actually. It was simply a false flag to justify the nukes or the atomic bombs that were dropped upon Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Nothing else. And ever since then, America has been seen as the hegemony of power, and other nations have said, okay, we need to stay away from America, and we don't want anything to do with getting on America's bad side. In 2026, all of that is out the window. Nobody respects America like that anymore. They're saying, we have nukes, we have artillery, different bombs, weaponry, especially bombs. Russia, North Korea, China, Iran, they have nuclear capabilities and they're ready to use it. It's just that the Lord is telling the angels to not actually use them yet. But they're ready to use it. Satan 2, if I'm not mistaken, is in Russia. That's a nuclear missile. So many different bombs are ready to be used. Do you really think that the bombs are just there to catch some dust and, it's just not really going to be used ever? Really? Okay. That's how a lot of people feel. But no, they're actually going to be used towards the destruction of this current world. This evil, decrepit, rotten world. Take the millstones and grind meal. Uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. And that's the Messiah speaking. He's not going to meet none of you heathen nations as just a regular guy. He's going to come back in an angelic force. And before all that happens, the nuclear missiles are going to hit America. And that's when America is going to be great. That's when Babylon is going to be made great. When those nukes from all the different nations that are throughout the entire earth decide to finally hit the red button and just send all the nukes across the skies, across the atmosphere, the second heaven, and then it finally reaches the shores of America, that's when America is going to be great. Not again though, but it's going to be great. It's going to be great for the earth. It's going to be great for the people. It's going to be great for all livestock on earth. Because as long as this country, this queendom has power, there is no rest. There is no peace. And nobody truly knows what true peace is until this evil kingdom finally goes down in shambles by a nuclear holocaust. And it deserves it. Every single last bit of destruction needs to come upon Babylon the Great. And all the peoples that are so proud and prideful, especially the most proudest, Donald Trump. If I'm not mistaken, his name actually means to be prideful and arrogant. Exactly. Donald means, it's a traditional male given name of Scottish and Gaelic origin. It means ruler of the world or mighty ruler, and he has the power of America in his hands, militarily, economically, socially. He's able to sway wherever the woman in covered purple scarlet decides to go. But who has the true authority over America? It's Amalek. It's the Jewish people. And they're being exposed. All you have to do is go on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, and you will see people just exposing Jewish people for being evil, for being liars, for being deceitful. That's all they want to do to people. They don't actually want to be authentic. If you're God's chosen people, why are you lying to people? Why are you lying about your ancestry? Calling yourself an Ashkenazi Jew. And the word Jew just means from the tribe of Judah, or the southern kingdom, which consisted of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. But its original context is from the tribe of Judah, and they're not even from the tribe of Judah. You're imposters, you're Amalek, you're liars, and you're being found out for being the residue of the heathen. And Donald Trump is being controlled by these same people. These are Satan's chosen people. And they control America. Not Donald Trump. Jewish people control America. And they are in fact Caucasians, or what they would say, white people. And people will say online, whether it's on X, Facebook, in different social media sites, you got Edom of different tribes of Edom saying that Amalek is not a Caucasian. They're not white. Yes, they are. Accept it and move on. It's okay. And then they'll say they control the slave ships, which they did. They financed the slave ships. They were the ones that really had made a ton of money because of the transatlantic slave trade, which is also prophesied in the Bible, by the way, if you're new here. Deuteronomy 28 and 68. It prophesies that the children of Israel will go on slavery in ships. And they will be going throughout the world. They will lose their heritage. They will lose their customs, their traditions. And then nobody would ever save them ever again, except for one person, and that is the Messiah, the Savior, who everybody calls Jesus Christ, because that is not his real name when he was on this earth 2,000 years ago, contrary to popular belief. Salaki. Ezekiel 36 and 5. Okay. And I'll end it out here through the Spirit, if that's what the Lord wants me to do. Ezekiel 36 and 5. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh power, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, that's talking about Edom, the border of wickedness, and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart, with the spiteful minds to cast it out for a prey. And they really think that they have the power because it comes from on high, according to them. No, the power you have comes from Satan. Satan is the one who controls where you go and where you maneuver. We all understand that. The Rothschilds, the Gettysburgs, the Rockefellers, they simply align with demons on the left-hand side. They conjure up different spirits, wicked spirits at that, and then they speak to them on what they can and cannot do, what their course of action should be doing. But little did they know that Satan works for the Heavenly Father, Yahweh. What Satan is to the wicked is what Yahweh Shai is to the righteous. Because everything is duality, of course. It's all made perfectly. The Lord is going to show up and show out in ways that people will not be able to understand. Because again, the superpower, America, is the hegemony of wickedness all over the world. The reason why you have different African nations perpetuating sodomy, you have the acceptance of adultery throughout different Western civilizations, which when they say Western civilization, it's just white countries. Very, like, without all the extra BS that they want to add to it, Western culture or Western civilization is just white dominated countries. And they're not even white dominated anymore, because the birth rate of you Edomites is declining heavily. Y'all so focused on black fatigue, which black fatigue is coined by our people, Judah, on how much atrocities, trauma, different violence that they had to deal with since July 4th, 1776, and even prior to that, 1619, and even more prior to that, in the 14th century, when the Portuguese went to the west coast of Africa to round up Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. So black fatigue is real, and it has nothing to do with the hatred and the annoyance of the children of Israel, which are you Judites. See, this devil, he clings to different terms and steals it and then puts his own spin on things. And that's why we call you the devil. And that's why you are being greatly exposed. And thank the Lord that it's happening on such a high scale, on an incredible scale. And you know what? I think I got everything I needed to say. Let me get this. Ezekiel 12. And 27. I'll start at 26. Again, the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, behold, they of the house of Israel say, the vision that he seeth is for many days to come, and he prophesieth of the times that are far off. And that's our people in a nutshell. I got a cousin who I don't really speak to anymore. I've talked about him a few times. Who, when I talk to him about the destruction of America, the civil wars, the race wars that are going to happen, he thinks it's going to happen like 500 years later down the line. Like, oh, yeah, it sounds like it's going to happen, but it's going to happen maybe a couple of, like 50, 100 years from now. It's not going to happen. And I'm like, that's how I know you're Israel, because you think that the prophecies that the Lord has written, faithful and true, are just going to be prolonged. No, we're at the end of the end days, and it doesn't matter if that's what you think. If you're measuring the time diligently in itself, you can see, just based on the news, based on the different articles that are being written, the fact that World War III is being spoken of on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, many different social media sites. It should tell you that, oh, we're already there. Like, we're at the end. And World War III is mentioned in the Bible. Actually, World War I and World War II, they're just referred to as woes, destructions. But everybody's going to know that the servants and the prophets were among you eventually. Because everybody feels like they have the time to get right with the Lord. That's the problem with Israel. I gotta get it. But before I do that, let me continue on. Therefore say unto them, Thus saith Yahweh power, there shall none of my words be prolonged any more, but the word which I have spoken shall be done, saith Yahweh power. Exactly what the Lord said would happen, which he had given to his servants, the prophets, in the ancient world, it's going to happen now in this time. Not 50 years from now, not 100 years from now, not 200 years from now. In the current time we're in, you can see that the third woe is right there, right around the corner. And I think Albert Pike coined how World War III would happen. Let's get it. I'm in the spirit. I just want to bring out the edification. Albert Pike, a 33rd degree Freemason. And again, this information is not far off. It's not like, you see, people want to remain willingly ignorant about things. The information is in the palm of your hands. And most of you people are too lazy to do some research. But welcome to 2026. Smartphones and stupid people. Especially you Babylonians. Y'all getting poisoned. You're drinking poison. You're drinking, eating, consuming poison. Y'all are gone in the mud. It's incredible. But don't worry, the Lord is going to put you out of your misery. Albert Pike, the Third World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agentur of the Illuminati between the political Zionists, which are Amalek, and the leaders of Islamic world. Iran, Afghanistan, these different neighboring countries, they're all Islamic. They're Muslims for the most part. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam, the Muslim Arabic world, and political Zionism, the state of Israel, mutually destroy each other. And this man prophesied perfectly. And he must be here today because without a shadow of a doubt, they know about reincarnation. They know that you don't just die and then you decide your spirit just, it just disintegrates or something like that. Which is going to happen to the nation of Edom, by the way. You are actually going to stop existing altogether, completely gone. When those 1,000-year reign, or the 1,000 years after serving captivity are ended, you're not going to actually exist anymore. So there's that. Let me continue on. We shall unleash the nihilists and atheists, and we shall provoke a formidable social catalysm, which in all its horror will show clearly to the nations the effect of absolute atheism, origin of savagery, and of the most bloody turmoil. Then everywhere the citizens obliged to defend themselves against the world minority of revolutionaries will exterminate those destroyers of civilization, and the multitude disillusioned with Christianity, whose deistic spirits will from that moment be without compass of direction, anxious for an ideal, but without knowing where to render its adoration, will receive the true light through the universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer, brought finally out in the public view. This manifestation will result from the general reactionary movement, which will follow the destruction of Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time. So that's the goal, to exterminate Christianity and to exterminate Islam. And really, this devil didn't understand that his own people are going to feel the wrath of the Lord, being Edomites. He doesn't know that. Yeah, he sounds like he got things figured out in his head, but little did he know He was an Edomite the whole time. And the Lord hates him and his people. Even though he did prophesy to say what he said, he still has to feel what the Lord has in store for him and his people, which is a complete annihilation. He's talking about the annihilation of Islam, atheists, nihilists. Little did he know, most of his people, predominantly Edomites, happen to be atheists. They are. The most atheistic country on this earth, if I'm not mistaken, is Sweden or Norway. Let me see. The most atheistic is China, but in Europe, it's Sweden. There you go. It's just in their spirit. In their spirit, they're not upright. And they're trying to avoid the judgments and the indignation of the Lord. But it's all going to come crashing down upon them. That's what they don't understand. The Third World War is right there. Iran is not backing down. It's not like what he did to Venezuela in capturing Maduro. Maduro is whatever. He might be in on it. We don't know. Of course, we do know that Psalms 83 is definitely real. Shalom to Yuwanathan, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Barakatah Akia. The nations are confederate against Israel. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And like the brother Ariyah said in the chat, it makes perfect sense why all the things happening in the Middle East are happening. Is because they're trying to figure out who's going to have the next world to come in their power, in their hands. I can see that. I can actually see that. It's not something that's too far off to think about or to believe. You know, because all the nations, they know who we are, but they're just not. They're never going to really tell us and broadcast it like that to the mainstream media. Because again, this world is not ours. It's given to the hands of the wicked. And they're lying, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to maintain their hegemony on this earth. But contrary to popular belief, the Lord is going to stomp every single wicked person that thinks they're going to get away with being sinful and with being unrighteous. Little do they know. I think I got everything I wanted to say. But yeah, Akia, a lot's going on. A lot. And it's only going to manifest more and more. And with that, I want to say, Call Halayim La, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, and Shalom.